Okay.
We're live.
I guess we're live.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on Instagram.
For anybody watching, we're also doing live on Instagram, and you have to do that after you go live. After
Oh, so
so I'm
it gives
trying
me
to.
like a preview. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. I think we're on Instagram too. Let's see. I was trying to find this on Instagram. Does it show the okay, it doesn't show any watchers, but it does show the watcher count on
I guess I could open up.
let's see.
I'm always psycho, and I open up both of them to see who's watching.
I don't see it on my do you see it on your Instagram that we're live?
Yeah, I do.
It does show up on your side.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I was trying to find it on Facebook too. It looks like there's a couple people here.
Yeah. It says we got 2 people watching.
What's up? And then, is there a chat here?
Yeah. So if you look down at the bottom, you'll see a private chat.
Mhm.
And you can select it if you want to send a chat to everything, or if you want to like change it up. I think so. I know it does it in OBS. I'm pretty sure it does it in this, where you can change. So if I say like that, maybe the test goes to all of them.
I think that's just between you and I, though.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Okay, on the right over here. Yeah.
Camper
Okay.
days.
Maybe I can't chat, but you can. On your right side, there's like a little chat box, and it popped over. I'm used to being the one streaming. So I think it gives you the option where you can drop down and send it to everybody. So if I like comment and say welcome if I comment on Facebook, it should pop up on that chat over there. It says messages from your audience will appear here. Yeah, it just popped up. Do you see it on your right side?
Oh yes,
There's a little,
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So I think if you chat in that, it'll show up on all of them. So
Oh, and you can put it even under here. I wonder if that shows up on Instagram and Facebook too. Oh, it does. I can see it on Instagram. That's sick.
yeah.
Or on Facebook rather, and Instagram.
But I think if you reply, it goes to all of them,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Wait, let's see. Can't post messages in some channels. Super engaging for whoever's here. Okay. Yeah, it's not letting me send out. When I choose when I try to do the chat and choose like restream, and it has like Chris, it says it's like grayed out and says like read only, and then I can't send anything from here. But you can do it from
the individual
platforms.
That's weird. We'll have to next time before we look. We'll have to like look at that and see, because I know that I've been able to respond. Like I'll drop like a link to something in there, and it'll just go out to everybody. So I don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah, it's like it won't let me do it. It's weird. And I can see on Facebook too. There's a oh, it does the captions, like live captions
On Facebook?
on Facebook. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, that's sick.
It's cool. So whenever you and I talked about this, really earlier this week, but you had texted me a couple weeks ago. Was there something that in particular like inspired that text you sent to me about this sort of idea of like a media or conglomerate or platform?
I mean, just that I'd been thinking about it for a while, and I kind of had kept going back and forth on like, should I put this out there? Like, I just had a second kid, so like my time is even more limited than it was before,
Mhm.
and it's kind of like just to catch everybody up. The specific message that I sent to you was like opening, and the why it would put more work on me basically was I was like, hey, like I know that you're really good at doing live shows, and I know you had been on a few. I think I had seen you'd been on like 2 podcasts recently. And in my head, I was like, if I don't ask him to do this now, that was one of the things. Like, if I don't ask him to do this now, he's going to start his own, and and I won't get to be like a part of it. And I guess that's sort of like a selfish thing, but I was like, I want to be like a part of what he's doing because he's really good at it. So
Mm.
I want to like be a part of that. And so the whole like shtick on my show, I say this every episode, and I really do mean it, is that I get people on there on my show to talk who are more interesting and more talented than me, because I can just ask them questions and they can talk for as long as they want to. And my show looks really good because they're saying all of the good things. And I don't have to like, I don't have to plan or script as much. I can just make sure I know enough about them to have a good conversation and ask them some questions and go from there. So I've wanted to start some kind of media company or like podcast. For a while I wanted to do like local business podcasts. Like I honestly thought like I could just rent a space out, and basically like the idea was to set up a few cameras and have just a plain background with a sign that you could change out easily based on the name of the show, and just have business owners come on there. They come
Mm.
there once a week. All they have to do is bring the guest, come there once a week, record their put their sign up with the name of their show, record their episode, take it down. I'll edit it and distribute it, and we'll just go from there. And so I thought about that for a while. And then I was talking to my boss, where I work at, we have a podcast side of the house.
Mhm.
And he was kind of talking to me about all the things there and how many you needed to get before it became profitable. And then when you hit that point, you got to start hiring people, which is like any sort of like business. But basically it was just kind of like, it's a cool idea, but it's a lot of work, obviously. And it's kind of like, do you want to, if you want to do that, go for it. And but I feel like locally you're going to you might potentially run out of scalability if you're focused on a local place like that, at least like where you live. Like
Mhm.
if this was in, Texas or California or New York, it might be a little bit different. But like, even though Huntsville is large, like it's probably not going to have the stuff that I need. So I started pushed it back for a little bit, and I was like, okay, I'll just keep like working on my own like content and stuff like that. And then let's see, this week will be week 17, I think, of my podcast. So 17 weeks ago, I started my own podcast, and it was a guy I work with who convinced me to do it and made it seem really easy. And it has been actually very easy. And so from there, I was like, okay, I can create this podcast and it's going well. And then like I'd interviewed you already, and me and you have been going back and forth on starting something of some kind together at some point.
Mhm.
It's just kind of always been like lofty, I guess, or up in the air. We didn't have like a solid maybe proof of concept of maybe, because I feel like me
Mhm.
and you are both like, yeah, we'll do it, and we'll do it once or twice, but if it doesn't like culminate right there, we got to like kind of go back to like the drawing board and figure it out. At least that's how I kind of look at it, because me and you've kind of gone like all over the place of like how we record and how we distribute and all those stuff. And so when I realized that the method of doing a live show was super easy, like you just set a time and go live and just do that every single week. And you don't even have to do anything afterwards. Like you can just
Mhm.
let the live show live as a live thing on whatever platform, and you
Mhm.
can get content there, or you can download the video and you've got an hour every week that you can turn into a separate clip every day of the week. And so when that came like sort of like to fruition there, I was like, okay, now if I want to start teaching other people how to do this, or like helping other people do this, like I find people that are like really talented at talking and interviewing and coming up with ideas and creating content. And all I have to do is just sort of pitch them the idea of like, you just pay for the streaming platform and I'll handle the rest. Like I'll
Mhm.
help you source your guests. I'll help you come up with a question. I'll show you the process that I have that was basically handed to me, and I've changed it in different ways to kind of work the way I like to do it. But I'll hand all this stuff over to you and it'll make it super easy. And all you have to do is find the guest. I'll help you go live and do everything and run your show and go from there. And then basically that becomes my first like talent, which was you, I've been going back and forth on it. And then I saw that you've been on a few podcasts the last few months or a few weeks. And I was like, I got to tell Chris this. Like, I've got to like throw this at him and see if he'll want to do it, because I know he would want to, but I don't know if he'll want to do it with me or the way that I'm positioning it, but I'm going to do it. So that was sort of like, all of that was like, I've been thinking about this back and forth. I've like multiple times like opened up my phone, like to your message, like going to send that and just didn't. And then just the other night I was just like, I'm just going to do it. Like, I really feel like I should just throw it out there at him. So the idea is for me and you to be on this together. Like, I want for us to support each other's show in this and help each other to find, and you came up with the idea of like, bringing more people in to have, a few more people that have like different topics. And I think maybe we both, but I was like, it'd be cool to have like a different person have a different type of show every week or whatever, or a different type of show every day of the week. Would be super cool. But basically when I realized how easy it was to do this, like going live is super easy. Show up at the same time, wear the same thing. Like, I'm not wearing what I usually wear, but I have a hat and a hoodie that says the name of my show on it that I wear every single week. I just throw that on, hop in front of here, ask somebody a few questions, and somebody who's way more talented and smart and knowledgeable than I do, they just go off on a tangent. And then I've got all of this like great content now. And I do the same thing next week. Like, I think the part that was the scare, not the scariest, but like what I was most worried about is I've got to do this every week, which means I have to have a guest every week. That part is hard. And actually, the guest was super easy. Like,
I think there's plenty of people that want to get on and talk about what they're up to.
Well, dude, first of all, I was like, I'm just going to go through like my LinkedIn contacts and like look for it. And actually had somebody, one of my coworkers, our salesperson, was like, hey, he like ran my list through some program. He's like, hey, here's all of like the people that match you the best and like would go be good on your show. And it made it like super easy, because it went from I don't know how long it was, 1,500 or how big it was, like 1,500 people down to like 200 that I should go after and try to get on. And basically every person I've asked has said yes. There's only been one person who said no, and they weren't on my account list anyway, really at all. And then I've just been scrolling on TikTok, and I've asked 3 people that I've just seen on TikTok talking about content. I just messaged him and was like, you want to be on my podcast? And the guy I had on last week, YL, he was one of the first people that I saw on TikTok. So like, it becomes like super easy when you start living in a space where like you're like, for you, like if you're going to talk about finance, like, really, if you would be strategic about it, you could just search personal finance videos on TikTok or something and find creators talking about that, and find smaller creators and just like comment and be like, this would be perfect. This would be a perfect conversation from a podcast if you want to come on. And like you said, yeah, people are super willing to say yes. I've had 2 people say no. The one person was just like, I just said no because they kind of had like stage fright and they just weren't really like, they didn't want to do it. And the other person that said no, I don't really know why they said no, but I was just kind of like, well, in a way I was like, that's why you'll stay where you're at, I guess, like in a way, because you don't like, you've got to expand, you got to do more things, and like this guy is creating content on his Facebook and stuff. And I was like, he's not, I don't want to like give too much about who they are, but I was just like, they're not the kind of person I would typically talk to, but I think it's really unique to see this like small business person locally to me creating content like this and trying to grow on social media. And then you have somebody come on and ask them to share their platform and they say no to you. And it's kind of like, at first you're just kind of mad, but then you're like, no, that's why you might stay in like that lane that you're in, because you've got to be willing to collaborate and expand. So
as you were saying that, it reminded me that made me think that a lot of people who are maybe niche creators or small and in their, with their audience, have a small audience or maybe not much of an audience at all, they're trying to find ways to come up with content too.
Yeah.
And even if you're, a show that they're on isn't that big, that gives them an opportunity to go on and talk about what they know and make clips and find themes and in their in their business, and then they can do stuff with that, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
I
okay,
mean,
well, even if their show doesn't get me much exposure, I can go on and talk about what I know, and then I can just use the stuff that I talked about on my own channel or make, like I said, make clips from that.
yeah. Like, I mean, which I positioned it as like, you're a small business creator creating content. Do you want to come and like talk about how you do it and like help others? And maybe they don't want to help others. Maybe they just want to keep it to themselves, and that's totally fine. But
Yeah.
like, I think, like, I mean, I even had somebody on a few weeks ago who was like anti content creation to come on, and which I was like, I'm also gonna be open to opposing views, because I was like, this is a podcast about content, and you're telling me that I can accomplish all my dreams without creating content. So how do we do that? So I think, like, you know, if like people are, when they're trying to create their own and they're thinking that this is not going to work or whatever, like, I mean, that's, even if it doesn't completely fit where you think you might would go, I think it's always worth, like, you know, within a reasonable degree. But if there's like some way to share a platform with somebody, like that just doubled your, you know, you got 100 followers. Well, that's 100 people that don't follow you that you can reach out to. So yeah, I
And
think,
for me, this is a good format to engage because I historically have had a difficult time like creating content on the internet. I do like to write like longer form stuff,
yeah,
but like posts and images with captions, or you know, putting the video, you know, just like doing the selfie recording thing has just been like uncomfortable, or I've either
yeah,
created like really cringe content. But this is a good way for me to just be myself, and I think, and having the reason I wanted you on here during this and like to do this together was because it promotes just like a regular conversation that, you know, if something good comes out of it, great, but it's also just fun. Like I just think this is fun. I love the gear. I love that there's a live component to it because it kind of
yeah,
keeps you on your toes a little bit more. And like, I don't know, if there's like one nugget of information that someone else finds interesting or like valuable, then like that's cool too. But at the end of the day, it's just a fun way to, I don't know, hang out. I mean, it's here, right? It exists on the internet. Like anybody can do this, and this is the way that we all engage with each other now. Like the internet, that is. There are a lot of you know, in person things that we do, but those in person things will become more and more infrequent and maybe even smaller. You know, you go to live events and you go to a show and things like that, but we were talking before we started recording, like you and I are not going to like meet up and go to the bar, or like
yeah,
the one time, like the picture I put on Instagram today was like us at a concert in Nashville. That happened like a year ago or
yeah,
earlier this year or something, like last year. And that's just, you know, that's just the way the kind of the world is now. And this
yeah.
is a way for the internet's a way for people to continue to, you know, engage with each other and keep up with each other. But it's also a way to like, I don't know, build a community and like, I don't know, have conversations.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Like the part that you mentioned, like the building community part is, like, I'm sure there are plenty of people who have conversations just like this, like on Discord or like on the phone, obviously. But people,
Mhm.
like, I know people that just will Zoom their friends, or even like, I mean, FaceTime their friends or whatever, and have like serious conversations, like not just saying hi, like they're having serious conversations, and they're not like live streaming it, and
Mhm.
which is totally fine. But I think like the part you mentioned, like it's here and people can see it, and it's like it's building community, I think is like encouraging, and why that I think having conversations live like this are really important, because it might encourage somebody else to do the same thing. And it's not that if somebody watches this and they're like, I want to go have a live stream conversation with a friend, it's not like for the sake of like making money or building a business or doing whatever. It could just be for the sake of like having a regular like live conversation with somebody that other people can see, and
Mhm.
those other people are encouraged to do the same, or encouraged to join in. I mean, if this just like encouraged you to like call a friend you haven't talked to in a few years, you know, I think like that's probably like
Yeah, and
worth
talk
it in
about
the
something
end.
fun. I don't know. I mean, like like we were saying before, like guys need a third thing, and
Yeah.
like this is kind of like a fun third thing. I also was just thinking about like, you know, the bar example. Like if you're sitting at a bar and you're hanging out with your buddy, and like somebody else comes up and sits next to you, if you're talking about something interesting, that person may want to jump in, and then now next thing you know, like you've got 3 or 4 people that you've met that maybe you know, maybe you knew, maybe you didn't know, that are now like at your table hanging out. And like this
Yeah.
is just, don't know. This is just a version of that.
Yeah, that would be. I'm sure there's something out there that exists, but it would be cool if there was some way that this was like people could hop in on. I bet you guess they could if you like sent them the link. It'd be kind of like
somebody could just hit us up, and I could just send them the link. I don't even think they need to download Restream. They just join, right? Maybe they put in like a username or password.
Yeah.
If Pierce is still here, it looks like he joined on Instagram. Pierce, if you're still here, I can send you a link if you'll send me a message. We've also got Emmanuel and I met through Bailey. We've talked about crypto, and we've hung out, and like he has created some blogs and put those out there. And like, I don't know, I think it's cool that people are trying to experiment and find ways to create in various formats.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. The person that I mentioned on my podcast who was like coming on there to say, you don't have to create content to like grow a business. Funny enough, like her method is called the 30 coffees. I think it's like 30 coffees in 30 days. And it's literally like, you just try your best to go have coffee with somebody, even if it's virtual, like with 30 people in 30 days, just to like it might be, I think she put it in like pillars too, but it's like maybe like just to like catch up with somebody, to tell somebody about something that you're working on, and then like some other thing. But basically it's like you have, with you, maybe I'm like, just going to catch up with Chris and see what's going on, find out. And then it might be another friend where I'm like, I want to kind of like tell them what I've been working on the side, and then I go tell them about something I'm working on, and then the other person. But basically it was like, when you talk to those 30 people, you're cementing like what you do in their heads. So like if me and you haven't talked in a while, and I was just like, yeah, like I just started like this podcast and I've been doing that, and I want to like help other people start it. Well, maybe you don't want to start a podcast, but the next person that you talk, like somebody you talk to does, and you're like, oh yeah, my friend Trevor just mentioned he wants to help people. And so like the idea is like, you're not creating content, you're just meeting, you're just making that community, you're making the time to be that third thing that week for that person. And then that's how like she was like, all of my like my business and everything, I've never like created content, I never wrote a blog, I've never done any of that. I just like meet with people, and it just compounds. So I think like basically what we're doing here is sort of a version of that, of just meeting with somebody to talk about something, and we're going to leave here both remembering something that each other did or wants to do, and down the line I'll find I'll hear somebody that's interested in trying to get their personal finance on track or something, and I'm like, oh yeah, my friend Chris has got this cool thing.
Just need help with something. Like that was something that I've become more aware of recently. A lot of people don't know what I do for work, and they like maybe know I work in finance, or like maybe know I do something with computers, but I feel like I've learned so much about finance in my career, and realized that a lot of people have struggled with it. And what was always obvious to me, I've learned was never obvious to anyone else. And I kind of took that for granted for a really long time. And it took some like serious family stuff to happen for me to realize that like, oh, I'm actually good at this.
Yeah.
And other people aren't. And so it was a reminder to like figure out how to talk about this stuff more. And, if I'm not going to bring it up in conversation with someone casually like this, putting it out on the internet and talking about it here might be a way to do that. Looks like Pierce is here. Oh shit, son. Brother.
What's going on, guys?
Brethren, how are you doing?
Man, I'm wonderful.
This is awesome.
Hey Pierce, how's it going?
I'm good. How you doing, Trev?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, sir.
Have y'all not been in the same room before?
I feel like we had to have had like back in Jacksonville days or cross paths at some point.
Must have.
Oh, okay. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I don't know.
We all have the same glasses on. Do we go shop at the same lens crafters to get this?
Oh, I mean, well, I got the cheapest ones at Target, so I was like,
That's what I tried going with too, Trevor. That's exactly where I got mine.
they were trying to pitch me all these different ones. And I was like, I hate all of them, and they're all like they're way more expensive than what I feel like. So I was like, I want to find like the ones that'll fit my giant head and also are not like $500. So that was like the two things, and these just kind of fit the criteria of being cheap enough and wide enough to fit my head. So
That's been the struggle my whole life as well, because I've also have a watermelon head, but these just seem to be, I don't know, it's like on the ears and stuff it's fine, but the bridge of my nose,
yeah,
maybe it's just the material or just the slant of it, but they just slide down super easy. So
They make those little they have these little pads now, like that you can like stick to the inside of the nose bridge that like helps keep them from sliding down.
uh,
But yeah. Pierce, we were talking about how like this sort of format is kind of like a new way to hang out, and like you and I have played like video games on like growing up and stuff, and like that was obviously live, but you have like that third thing, which is the game, to kind of like do while you're just hanging out. But so much of hanging out on playing video games is just like just hanging with your friends, right?
yeah.
And this kind of feels like a version of that. Now there's no game, but
It's more direct because it's like direct conversation. Whatever topic that you want to talk about is going to be just directly discussed. It's not just like in passing, like you said, while you're playing video games or, you know, just a little side conversation. I mean, it's like full on directed at each other. So yeah, I agree. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, but I'm liking it thus far.
it's fun. And like people can like jump in and hang out, and then whenever like, they move on and leave and it's whatever. And like, there's probably, I think whenever you join, I think your Instagram followers see that you're live or something like that. And so it
Well, I
gets,
tried sending it too. Like whenever I was watching you guys, like it said that you could share it, so I just started sending it to a bunch of different groups and people on Instagram.
no, that's awesome.
and like, cause
Doing the Lord's work.
doing the Lord's work. But like we all three live in different cities. I mean, we're all pretty close to each other, like relatively, but at the end of the day, like we're not all going to get together and get a beer on a Wednesday night like this. Like this is just such a quick and accessible way to just like jump in and hang.
I agree.
I do hope that whoever like people joined right when it's like, oh, we're talking about cash, and then we were all just talking about how we bought the cheapest glasses. Like, this is a finance show where like the way to really get ahead in life is to buy the cheapest glasses at Target or Lens Crafters, wherever the
money definitely runs through every facet of our life. I mean,
whichever place your insurance will pay the most, and then just get the cheapest glasses.
It's funny how some of these things that do play such a big role in your day-to-day life can financially fall to the wayside when looking, just like what is the cheapest option. But it's a pretty, like, if I didn't have these glasses on right now, I mean, I would be much, much worse off. Or if I didn't have contacts. So, but I just want the cheapest version to help me do the, bare minimum what I'm biologically supposed to do.
Yeah. I had another pair that I bought. I don't like these as much. I bought a pair I liked more from Zenni, but then I lost them. I left them at like a hotel, and they're like going to charge me more to ship them to me than what I paid for them. So I just was like, whatever.
In my personal opinion, the best experience I've ever had with glasses is Warby Parker.
Oh, really?
Whether you have vision insurance or you do not, because I mean, ultimately, it's like whenever I got the cheapest frames, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you can get these for virtually nothing." But ultimately, I mean, you pay for the lenses that go in the frames. That's it. These lenses are worth maybe $2, no matter what brand, whatever you buy. But Warby Parker, yeah, they were like very long lasting, very comfortable. You could even like factor in the adaptable lenses. Like they darken when you go outside and stuff, and it worked. So, but
did you like the adaptable, like the transitions? Did you like those?
I would like the Warby Parkers I had that did it. I would have liked them more if it didn't take like 5+ minutes for them to kind of go back to normal if I walked in a building. Which that's like
it happens slowly.
Want and wish, but I mean I don't know. It's like whatever's capable. I'm just saying, like it'd be much more convenient if because like whenever I had those, I was in college. Thought I looked like a D-bag walking into class from coming outside, and they're like, "This dude's got his got his Ray-Ban still on in the classroom. Like, the hell's wrong with him? But I was like, all right, give it a second, guys. We'll go back to normal, I swear.
We have a Warby Parker like physical one now here. I might have to go and check it out, see if they've got right
I
next
hear
to the
good
Lego
things.
store.
I hear good things. I've got to get some new glasses. It's been a long. I've had these for like 5 years. But
Where
you're right. It's like why you something you wear every single day. It's like buying a cheap mattress or like
Yeah.
buying cheap shoes.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're doing that. You're someone that wears glasses puts them on every. You wear those more than anything else you wear. Why are you not? Why are you like cheaping out on them and not putting a little bit of investment into like something that's actually going to make your day-to-day experience that much
Oh, I
better?
paid for, like I said, I paid for the lenses. That's where all the juice is at. The frames are just like, which I guess if they're uncomfortable, mine are uncomfortable. I got a nice like round bridge right here that kind of holds them in place. So if I had a slightly thinner nose, it might be different. But
Somebody's got to bring back the Morpheus glasses. Just a pinch on the nose, no
Oh,
frame, just
dude, I
glass.
might do that.
So you both, maybe we could talk about money for a second. Like, Pierce, you just put an announcement post up on the internet. Trevor, you just had your second child. How has that affected like your thought process around money, or like what has that done in terms of like how you're thinking about your finances now? Obviously, feel free to go provide as little detail or as much detail as you're comfortable with. But I was just curious, like, if that has changed your perspective, or like, and if so, like to what degree?
Pierce, are you about to have your first?
Yeah, we're expecting our first this coming March.
Oh, okay. Well, congrats. You want to go first? Because I've got my second one. I've got a longer list of things, but
you're probably up to like a purple belt at this point, I guess. I'm saying, paying for the financial game. But no, I've talked to Presley about it. Is just since finding out that she's pregnant, which we had been looking for a house before we found out about this, but then it happened. We're like, well, we definitely do need a house because we need more room. So, and around that same time, the car that I had, which had been paid off for about a year, it was struck by lightning and totaled.
What?
So go from having no excess car payment to, well, I mean, what insurance wouldn't cover, getting another vehicle. So adding that onto it, trying to be responsible about all that, obviously, but also like knowing that we're going to have a child. It's like all my things of just, I'll say just like consumerism. You see things that you may like, and like before when it was just like renting, not owning a home. We definitely didn't have a child, weren't expecting a child. It's like, I mean, it's not going to hurt us at all. So all that stuff is like completely faded away. It's all just, I know, just thinking about being mindful of everything we're going to need, of just getting his nursery together, things like that. What's it going to cost on the bare minimum of just on diapers, and good Lord forbid, if we have to start factoring in formula. So, it's like it completely shifted, but I'm not saying it's in a bad way. It's like, it's just a natural, like, hey, it's go time, and it's for real.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is, like you said, like the consumerism part of your brain where you could buy whatever you wanted essentially, and it didn't really matter. And like now, so to get like super financially nerdy, like I have a 529 for both of our children, and so it's like I could buy this thing or buy something that I really want or whatever, and then it's like, but does that I could take that $50 and just put it in their 520, like put it in their 5, or like whatever. That's the kind of like way that I think about it now. It's like, okay, do I want to save this for them, or is it something that I can like, I feel like also I take less like risk in a lot of ways, like as for like financial risk, like, spending money on like ads to like test out like a product or something, or just something I'm interested in finding out about, is like something that I think like less about. And that's kind of like an extreme example, because I don't think most people are spending like buying ads for things. So I guess that's like not really like relatable to everybody, but definitely just like the consumerism part where it's like, yeah, like I could buy, you know, a box of diapers, or I could put this like towards their savings, or I could buy them something. Like it'd be cooler. I'd rather buy them something, some little thing, or like an outfit or something that I see at Target than buy myself like another phone case. Like, do I really need another phone case? Like, I know that it's like disgusting and peeling, but like, does it still work? Like, yeah, I don't, that's fine. Like, I don't have to buy that. So I think like that's probably the biggest thing, is just thinking about like those kind of things is probably the biggest the biggest change.
I agree. It's like you come to a better state of mind where you know, like, necessity compared to like just what a want is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's as cliche as it sounds, like your priorities change.
Yeah, and I mean it's like a light switch for real.
Did it happen? Did it
really
happen
helps
like
out.
day one when you found out
Oh man,
you
it
was
was
pregnant, or like
no. I like did it. Not only did it happen, it was like times a million, because it was just like, oh man, like we're looking for a house and this is happening. I'm gonna have to get a second job. Like we're gonna have to do this, that, and that. Like it was 10 times worse. And then as it goes on, you know, it's like it is what it is. There's the right way to go about it, and there's a not so right way to go about it.
So it kind of lit a fire under you, like immediately. You're like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it did, and it was like not like a 16 years old and finding this out, but at an established place in life where it's like, well, what can you do to be better and make it better from here on out? It's not really stressing. I mean, it kind of really was at first, because I mean, I guess just naturally that's the first thing that most people will think of is just money. Like, oh my God, like how much? What are we gonna have to pay for? So.
Yeah, it adds a whole nother like variable to your life that, you know, you don't really think about. Like you think, you know, you might think, well, I want to have kids one day, but that feeling is not going to happen until the day of that you find out, like, okay, yeah, we are going to have a child, and this is real now. And I've got to think about like what this actually means, and, you know, look at my bank account and, okay, now we got to redirect some funds, or like, I can't be as selfish about my spending. I think that's what makes like planning hard, like financially planning, and especially like even 529s is an interesting one, because Trevor, like it took having a kid for you to think about investing in the future that much. Like even for yourself, you may not have, and this maybe not you particularly, but a lot of people like may not think much about putting money into their 401k or something, unless just their job offers it, or like putting money aside into investments or whatever. Because it's not an immediate sort of problem, right? Like you're not worried about retiring tomorrow or next week. It's just, you know, I'm just trying to like have fun and, you know, enjoy myself today.
Yeah, I think before, which I had a sort of unique experience where I got laid off 3 months after my first daughter was born. So like as soon as my wife went back to work, I was laid off. It was a very like, we're talking about like stressful and trying to figure out like money situation. But I will say, like, you're correct. Like I was always just putting like the minimum into like the 15% of my paycheck into my 401k. And then I would just kind of like play around on like Webull and just kind of play around with like that kind of stuff and play around with crypto or whatever. And then like when we had a child and all those things, and when I got back stable and everything figured out, I was like, okay, like, you know, I've got to start figuring out, like, I'll do whatever the max match is with my employer, and make up the difference by investing this correctly. And then like when I started getting, I read this book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, because I was trying to, I actually kind of recommend this for anybody who is like, I don't know if you've read it. It's very like straightforward, like cut and dry, like, which was kind of good for me. Like it literally has something that's like, it's like the lazy investors like portfolio, and it just has like a breakdown of like 20% into stocks and 20% or whatever. So like I think like in terms of like, if you get through the first few baby steps of like Dave Ramsey or whatever, and you're like, okay, I'm 5 years away from paying off my house. What can I do between then? I feel like this is like the next step. At least it was for me, was like this stepped in where like Total Money Makeover or whatever, like left off while I'm working on paying off my house. But that's where I read about the 529 was in this. And I started doing like research and being like, oh, there's a lot of like benefits there to like doing that, if I start like investing like a little bit less into Weeble or fun money investing, invest more into this, then like by the time that, you know, my first daughter turns 18, like if she goes to college, she can use this much for it. And then the rest goes into her 401k, or it all goes into 401k. I'm like, dude, if she got a fully funded like 401k when she graduates high school, like I've succeeded at life. Like that is like the goal, you know, it's for both of them to like graduate high school and be like, don't have to worry about anything. Like you can go to college if you want to, or you don't have to, like you can travel for a year or whatever, but like you've got a retirement fund that is like 20 years ahead of you. So like that was to me like the biggest thing of like, how can I, and that thought like also dictated how I, like Pierce, you joked about like getting a second job, but like I've done like freelance stuff as long as I've been out of school. And so for me, it turned into less like, you know, not looking for more work, but saying like looking for like very precise things to do so that I could maximize the time I spend with my family, but also maximize the amount I can invest in them. So it really just came down to like, you know, now I've got a full-time job again. So I've got a 401k with them, but like the 401k, all that stuff while I was between jobs and was doing freelance full-time, this book actually helped me like figure out how to roll it over. Like I know it's all out there, but just the way that this put it, like really, like he has a whole blog about just how to like roll over your 401k from going from a full-time to like self-employed. So I've got like all those things are in places that I feel very secure in and like make sense. But it definitely was like, I had a unique situation because most people are probably not expecting to lose their job or get laid off, you know, right after having a kid or after, you know, so my situation was a little bit unique there, but yeah, I would definitely say like it made my money habits less selfish and more calculated. And also like before I accept a freelance project, like I'm more like, I don't know, more strict about what I'm saying yes to, because not only does it cost me time, it costs like time with them. And is that worth the amount of money that I could make from doing this? So
yeah, it forces like some efficiency for sure.
Yeah. Like this, like like this is kind of late at night or whatever. Like we had to make sure we got the kids ready for bed and everything like that. So, but this is like one of the things where it's like, this is like one of those things that's worth saying yes to, like being here, like, because I think it's worth having these conversations. So you kind of like figure out what's worth doing and not and going to and all that stuff. And
what's like really worth your time.
Yeah. And also just like time, not even just like money, but like time prioritization. Like, you know, I got up, made everybody breakfast, worked all day. We still went to the playground and played and then got back everybody. So you figure out how to like make time for those things when you're like, I was telling Chris earlier, I don't know if I think we had just gone live, but I was like, I just had a second kid. I've got less time than I used to, and I'm trying to find something to take up more time. But it's like, this is like, do I want to commit to like, you know, like asking Chris to like start a show and let me help him do it or whatever. Like, but it's like ultimately, yes, like that's something that's worth my time and like something I'm really excited about. And so I'll find a time to make that work. I'll just got to make sure that I got to wake up earlier or do something else to make sure everybody else has the same amount of time with me. So time and money, like, you know, you can, there's a lot of those things. When you have a kid, you figure them out, I guess.
Yeah, so you know, just trial and error, or more or less by fire. You don't have to figure it out.
Yeah, I think mine was pretty much by fire in the beginning there.
That's what it takes, man. It's that pressure. I mean, it's something at the end of the day, like you're gonna be the best version of yourself. Well, maybe not the best version of yourself. I don't know. You're gonna see what you're made of when that pressure's on you.
Yeah,
and either life's going to put that pressure on you or you put that pressure on yourself. But one way or another, like you're going to see if you got it or not.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I don't know. I love pressure. I try to find ways. I think I just put pressure on myself a lot because that's the only way I can get something done for real.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like whenever Dad got sick and I had to figure out all that stuff with my family's finances, like that was like peak pressure, right?
Yeah.
Like trying to just figure out like how are you going to survive 6 months until, a long-term disability check kicks in when you've
Yeah.
lost 70% of your income. And I think that's probably the case too when you have kids. It's like, okay, you may have not even been able to have figured it out before if that situation would have been presented to you, but now that you're in it, like, you find a way.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Like you find a way, and at the end, like I came out way better. If it was to happen again, like we'd be all right. Like I would not be like, I mean, obviously it'd be stressed, but nowhere near the level I was then, where it was like, I mean, dude, I've told this story a bunch. I don't know if I've told you. I'm sure I have, but like I literally, like, as soon as the day that happened, I literally like I went like updated my resume real quick, printed it out, like, and drove to Buc-ee's to apply for a job, because that's the only place I knew that you could apply for a job in person. Because I was like, I have to have something right now, and I'll figure out like getting back into my other stuff. But I was like, I'll just go get a job at Buc-ee's, like,
Yeah.
They turned me down, but like good reason on them. I don't think it would have been worth their time to hire me for 3 or 4 weeks until I got my wits about me. But but it's just, I think that's always just like a really funny like story of like, you kind of just, you figure it out. Like you're just kind of like in panic mode and do whatever you got to do. And
before I got this job at Truvada, I spent 2 weeks studying insurance. I was going to sell insurance.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did that too. Did we talk about this?
No,
I got my insurance license and worked at like 2 different places for like a few months, and like I just didn't have a good time. It was like sitting there making 100 calls a day, and nobody answered, and nobody wanted to talk to you, and nobody replied to your texts. I'm like, this kind of sucks. I still get like letters every now and then. It's like, you can no longer represent us. You've been lapsed for too long. And I was like, I didn't even sell one. I was like, but it was just, I was like, okay, you know what? I've been doing marketing and stuff for a while. I'll get into sales. I'll just sell insurance. And I was not cut. I don't think I was cut out for that kind of.
Pierce, were there any like Trevor shared that book? Like, are there like books or like tools that y'all have used either recently or like or anything that's like inspired sort of your thought process around like how you manage your money?
No, not really. I mean, it's just like been a whole new world realization for both of us. So just being, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's all it is. It's just like it's focusing on that, not our individual selves. So
yeah. I think like when I had to help my parents, like it can take it takes a lot of energy just to like wrap your head around the current state. And I think that's what, like the current state, like, okay, what is our actual income? Like, what's our expenses? What are our bills? When do they due? Like, how do I get to a point to where I'm not like feverishly checking my bank account multiple times a day just to make sure I'm not like going to get in the red, like that's a big lift in and of itself, much less than trying to layer on this new like variable. And I don't know. I didn't realize like so many people kind of, they operate that way. And a lot of it's just because like these topics aren't really talked about a lot, like what are like best practices? What are books that exist? Like what are some tools that you can use to just like keep an eye on things when, there's not a lot going on in your life, but then that way, when something does show up, like you're more prepared and can act a little bit more quickly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it definitely benefited the two of us of getting married in our later 20s, just being more established in our careers and what we were doing. So, I mean, it's like, just that's obviously a obvious benefit of marrying another person is this, double income at that point. So it really just set us up for more success because both of us had that mindset before we ever even got married. So that was a big positive for it as well.
It was more stable, right? I mean, like, 2 stable jobs. Like, I know what my paycheck's going to be. Like, I'm not like just trying to survive each month necessarily. You can kind of make some assumptions about what's going to happen in the future, and then you can kind of work within that.
Yeah. And it's now it has been, well, I say a little bit. It's nowhere near as bad as I was already expecting. Just like but what I said when we first found out that she's pregnant is now having a monthly mortgage payment. And we're like, well, how much more is that? And it's like, well, I mean, just from what we've already been doing, like I previously described how we felt, it's no big deal at all. I mean, it's not like I'm still, like you said, going in and checking the bank account 2 to 3 times a day, every single day, just being like, how much I got in there. Because I'm not actively just like, but the better way to say it, just pure consumerism. Like I need this, that, and the other. All right, but I got enough money to spend that, and then maybe I put a little bit of out from savings to replenish that. It's like that's not even the issue.
Yeah.
Dude, also just moving will get you out of like consumerism. Like when we just moved back in March, and I was like, I can't believe I'm packing all this. Like when I started unpacking stuff, I was like, whatever's in this box, I'm just getting rid of. There's no way I'm not opening another box. We left like half of our house in our garage, and after like a few weeks, we were like, we don't need anything out there. I don't even know what's out there. And so like, like that'll like don't need 40 cups anymore. Like we'll just have 4 cups. That's it. Like. Now every time I see like a new like tumbler or something, I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like
yeah,
dinged up and busted, but like it holds water. Like I'm all right. Like I don't need anything else. Or if I buy a shirt,
you gotta kill one if you get a new one.
Yeah. That's been the thing. Like if I buy something new,
just go ahead and discard.
Yeah. I will say this book has like a super clickbaity title, but it's actually like very like informative. It's like six weeks to financial control is like what it talks about. So I would say like that's definitely a book I would recommend because it's a pretty quick read. But it's just like even has like how can you like maximize like it kind of goes down like the Graham Stephan route of like how can you maximize like credit card rewards and like which I know like if you're a Ramsey person you might be completely against credit cards, but if you're using them responsibly. I think
if you got the discipline for it, I say go for it. If you can manage the discipline of it, but like some people just don't have that discipline. Like it's too much of a crutch.
Oh, I'm
a $3,000 credit limit, and they're like, "Well, I got $3,000 to spend."
Yeah, I'm sucked into it because I've got 2 that I've had that I got in college, and they like each month I have to pay like $15 or whatever because I've got like my internet or like Hulu through it or whatever. But it's like I can't get rid of those because they'll like destroy my credit. So now they're just here just to like hang out. Like until I get it, like every now and then I'll get a letter that's like we're about to close this account, and I go and look and be like run like a look at my Capital One app and be like, how much will it hurt me if I get rid of this? And they're like, oh, it'll go down 10 points. I'm like, I guess I'll just keep it. I was like, let me go
buy coffee.
Yeah, buy coffee with it and pay it off so I can keep it going.
Just to keep it open. Yeah, I think that's a smart move. I mean, keep them open as long as you can. I mean, you can make a lot of arguments about like the value of a credit score, but like it's just a kind of part of life. Like,
yeah,
if you're going to buy a house with a mortgage, or if you're going to, I don't know, if you need a loan to get a car, it's just part of the equation.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have it for when I need it, like you said. Like, thankfully both of our cars are paid off, but like, get struck by lightning or something happens and we got to get another one over. It'd be nice to know that like I didn't let my credit score like die, and I need to like, I need to, if I don't have that much liquidity to just buy it outright. So
man, getting your car struck by lightning is wild.
Well, it was like, it's even more wild because it wasn't even a like direct hit, but I had parked it, which I had not parked my car in that spot in the yard that we previously lived in quite some time. And I mean, lightning it struck the top of this oak tree. Like there were 2 oak trees that sat beside this little excess pull-in parking spot that was at the bottom of that yard. And I guess once it traveled down, it arced off and hit my car, but it was like completely disabled. And according to Honda, you would have to put in, I don't know how many hundreds of these codes of trying to just get it back to shut all the security feature stuff and get it back going.
Just like totally shot all the electrical.
Yeah, absolutely. Because my first thought the next morning was like, well, just to try to test it out, which let me say this, do not do this. If you feel like your car's been struck by lightning, do not go buy a new car battery to test out and see if that's going to make a lick of a difference. Because as soon as you pull, the terminal covers off and put that in your car, there is no O'Reilly's, AutoZone, anything like that that is going to take that battery back, even though there's no vehicle that has had one start with the battery.
They just won't
Right.
touch it.
No, they won't. They're like, well, this is used. I'm like, no, it is not, man. I stacked this in a car. I put terminal cables on it and I pulled them off. You can still see the lube you have to put on there for those the cables. I'm like, that's it. Get a paper towel, wipe it off. It hadn't been used. Nah, man, I can't do that.
No, can't touch a used battery.
That's funny. That's not funny, but it's
Looks
also
like Jordan Pace commented on there and was saying kind of something similar about the Chase points. Said they got $60,000 in free flights and hotels over the last 3 years and never paid any interest. So it's like you just use the card for what you spend money on, right?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna buy food, you're gonna buy clothes, you're gonna buy furniture for your new house, like whatever you can put on a credit card. If you're gonna spend that money anyways, why not get the points for it? Pay it off.
Literally all of mine are
or
just
even
like,
just get like cash rewards off of it.
yeah, I pretty much just use like my Capital One to like all of my like Restream and all of like my business stuff, and then like a few times a year I'll just use my cash rewards to just pay for like that month or whatever. It's just like, I'm not doing like hotels and flights or anything, but like even just like not having to be like, you look like, oh, I've got enough rewards that I don't have to pay it this month, so I can just like cash it in. Like that's always pretty nice. Have an extra, $70 that month.
Yeah.
You go spend on glasses. Put it towards my glasses fund.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I think I'm about to jump off and we're going to wind down for the evening.
Bro, thanks for hanging out.
Hey, if I could leave you with a bit of advice for the baby, you may already be doing this, but while you've got a little extra money before you have the actual kid, go ahead and just buy like 2 or 3 boxes along the way of each size diaper, because you're gonna get like you're gonna get like everything you need at the baby shower, but then you're gonna realize you're gonna run through it in the first like 2 months. So with our second kid, every time because both our first kid was still in diapers, so every time I went to buy diapers for that one, I bought another box, and like we still are like my garage has got like 8 boxes through like size 4 each right now, so we're like good to go for the next like year. So just one less thing to think about, even if it's not like the money part of it. Just like, dude, nothing's worse than like running out of diapers or being like you're in the trenches of a new baby and realize you gotta go buy diapers from somewhere. Hopefully you get enough from like your shower, but like
well, that makes sense. I will for sure keep that in mind. Thank you.
Babies do be shitting.
Also, hey, here's another we're talking about the financial trick here. Target, it's like if you get the Target app, like just look on your like the like, I can't remember what it's called. It's like the red rewards or whatever. It's like every 2 or 3 weeks they have a deal where if you buy $100 worth of diapers and wipes, you get a $25 gift card. And that's pretty legit, because you do that and then you do it again in the next week, and then like after a while you've got like every time you go, you get like a $25 gift card that you can use next time.
Within 4 weeks, you can then buy a whole new box for free, essentially. Just back.
So that's my tips and tricks for the day.
All right, we'll write up a blog after.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
It's been great talking to you, sir. And brother Chris, I'll see you Friday.
Yes, sir.
Y'all have a great evening, man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
See ya. Does he live in Nashville?
Birmingham.
He's just come to visit?
Yeah, no, we're going to see Billy Strings in Huntsville.
Oh, nice. In Birmingham?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Okay.
No, in Huntsville.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at the amphitheater.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
This Friday?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. Have you been to that? Have you been there?
Not to see a concert. We've gone to like other events and stuff there, but I haven't gone to see a concert there yet.
It's good. It's cool. It's a cool venue. Man, I just didn't like that. This angle of baby talk, baby finance talk. It's just not even something I thought about.
Yeah.
That's why I love getting on here and just seeing what happens, especially live. Like you just never know who's going to be around and who wants to who's just cool with like jumping on and hanging out. When I did this, baby bees shitting. Babies be shitting. Yeah, they do. Jordan put something on Instagram comments.
That's so funny.
Yeah, like I don't know what I was saying. Jordan, you threw me off with the babies be shitting.
You didn't know that we were gonna get to talk about.
Yeah, like
Baby
whenever
finds.
I did this with my friend Chris Mabry a few months ago at his wife's store, because I was going to do a workshop with them. It didn't really work out. We didn't sell enough tickets, and I was like, let's just hang out and go on Instagram Live and just see what happens. And we just sat for like 2 hours, chatted with people that jumped on, and then in like the comments and stuff, and then my friend Michael Panic was free, and he joined us, and he hung out for like kind of like Pierce just did, like hung out for like 30 or 40 minutes.
Yeah,
We just talked about business and finance and whatever. So you just never know. You just never know who's going to come and hang out.
yeah, no, that's cool because I mean didn't expect him to come on, but then also didn't expect him to come on and be like, like you got to bring up like I'm having a kid. You kind of got to do the thing for a little bit that I talk about getting to do is like letting your guests sort of like take over. So for a little bit, it was like me and Pierce talking about having kids. And that was like a different level of relation that like, you can't relate to that with right now because you don't have a kid. So like, it's kind of like not something you expected to talk about. I think you expected to ask me about like finances as a parent, but like, it's cool to see like Pierce coming on being like, well, I'm not a parent yet, but I'm already, we're just planning. Like, what are we, we're
Well, I mean, money touches everything. Like it touches every part of your life. Like you have to eat, right? Like you have to like, you got to be able to do, you got to have some way of making income to feed yourself.
That was something I was gonna talk about if we got to it, and we don't have to go like super down this rabbit hole, but like just talking about like being like in a family, like now like Ellis, she's about to be 3, but now she's like, I used to think about buying food and I would think about like how many meals each thing makes, and it's like, okay, if this makes like a pound of ground beef will make 4 meals of some kind, if it's 4 hamburgers or 4 like what, like I think I can make 4 meals out of it, and that's 2 days of me and Hannah eating. But now we have Ellis who eats food, so it's kind of like, okay, I've got to think, she won't eat a full like portion that we will, that's still like a third thing. So now I'm like, okay, that no longer goes 2 days, it goes 1 day, and there's like a little bit of leftover. So it definitely has changed. Like, like we've had like a Costco or like a BJ's membership, and it's kind of always been like kind of worth it, but not really, because we've never like ate that much. But now, dude, like I'll go and I'm buying like 10 pounds of everything and like dividing it out and like sealing it and like putting it in the freezer. And then that's been pretty nice because it'll just be like, dude, I know I've got like 10 pounds of ground beef in the freezer, and we'll just pull out a pound and like thaw it out and like cook what we're gonna. So that's been like a change.
My hack was going in on a cow with my father-in-law.
Oh yeah. I've wanted to do that, but I don't know.
My mom had a deep freezer that she wasn't using, so I ended up with that. So we had this like big empty deep freezer, and then my father-in-law was going in on a cow with another guy, and so I got like 100 pounds of ground beef.
That's awesome.
For like less than like $4 a pound.
Yeah, that's
and so it's like, that's gonna last me like 18 months, and that's fine because like I'm gonna buy that meat at some point.
Yeah. That's all. Yeah, we've got deep freeze too that was actually gifted to us, but that's been pretty legit. Like they've got all kinds of like ground beef and ground turkey and chicken and fish that we've like bought in bulk and like put out there. And like we still buy stuff fresh to eat. Like sometimes you just want to like eat something fresh, but for the most part, like if you're mixing it in with something, like you're not gonna notice.
No, you're not gonna know. This has got me thinking of like, because I made this holiday budget template.
Yeah.
And now this has got me thinking like, what kind of like template or like tool could exist to help either parents or new like parents to be with this whole sort of exercise of
do you know this guy?
Like figuring out like your money, right? Like something that's like very like specific around this particular topic.
Yeah. I mean, I just thought like just now, like you were talking about, I just opened this up to a page and it was kind of funny because it said like mutual funds, the ugly cousin of something or whatever. I was like, that's kind of funny. But I mean, yeah, dude, maybe like, I mean, like I was bringing up like 529s. Like maybe there's like, I mean, do a lot of people know about like, I don't know how many people know about those. Like if that's like something that's important to think about, but like there's benefits there. And maybe there's like, and I don't mean that in particular, but surely there's got to be like some sort of budgeting tool or something you can put together that's like the family budget hack of some kind or something like that. Or like, I mean, maybe you build like a GPT or something like that that's like ask questions specifically around like, okay, I've got 2 kids and me and my wife or whatever, me and my husband or whoever, and how can we save the most money like in November, for example? You know, I don't know, like maybe there's ways to like put that together when like, or how can we save money in November for Thanksgiving and have money left over for buying food in December. I don't know. Maybe there's like some ways like that where you start thinking about like, because I know like you've got like you've got like holiday budgeting and like there's probably all that in there. But I think like the more specific you get with like who it helps specifically, like is it helping like families of 4 or more, or is it helping like new families with like, you know, I think like there's a lot of ways to like make it specific and open up more avenues that like, you know, maybe it all fits in one tool kind of makes the most sense. But then also when you break it apart, like you find the more specific people that want like this one specific thing.
Well, I was thinking of the diaper angle. Like that is such a commitment for the first, I don't know how long. I mean, how many years do kids wear diapers for? Like,
I mean, Ellis is about to be 3. Yeah, Ellis is about to be 3. We're in the middle. We're in the trenches of potty training, but it, you know, I mean, it's still
that is a huge expense.
Yeah,
for most people, because I mean, most people are gonna do diapers. They're not gonna do like cloth.
Yeah,
most people aren't doing like cloth diapers.
Dude.
So it's like, you know, how do you know what kind of like very specific like targeted tool could exist for someone to help them manage that, just that one little component, right? That's going to be maybe one of the biggest line items on their, you know, on their list of expenses for having a kid for at least the first few years.
So a friend of mine who just did this because he's just like a data nerd. With his first child, he tracked how many diapers they used in each stage. And it was like on average, it's 800 diapers per stage, which is like about like most boxes come around 100. So I just say 8 boxes per stage, which is the rule that I went by when I was buying diapers. I was like, okay, we've got 8 boxes of newborns. We've got 8 boxes of ones. Like we're good. So maybe like a tool for like you go based off that, but like maybe like a tool is like one, like calculating the price per box. Like if I'm going to buy a Costco box, like how many, you know, like there's a Kirkland brand and there's another brand that we really liked. And I calculated that the brand that I liked a little bit more than Kirkland was only 11 cents more per diaper. And I decided that was a expense that I wanted to take. And we would pay 11 cents more per diaper because we liked these so much more. But maybe, I mean, I'm sure there's that breakdown there too, but maybe there's also a way to like bring in like, I don't know, dude, if you know somebody who knows how to like, maybe just like turn on like a Google Trends thing or something like that. And it's like, you can find like the deal that I mentioned to Pierce about the Target deal, or like where there's like available coupons. If you don't care about the brand, like let's just like, maybe it's just like a newsletter or an email or something that is like, lets you know that like, okay, this week, like Target's diapers are on sale. So you can buy any branded diaper from there. And then at Walmart, these are like, the Huggies are on rollback or whatever at Walmart.
Yeah, like what's the best deal on diapers?
Yeah, what's the best deal this week? Yeah, and it's like Kirkland is like each week
Kirkland deal of the week.
Yeah, each week like Kirkland or either like Costco or Sam's are obviously going to have the best deal, unless it's like the $100 and 25. Like obviously, like if you buy $100 and you get $25 off of it, like that is the best deal of that week. Like you're not going to be able to get, but you can only do that at Target, and you can only use that gift card at Target, and you have to use that gift card on your next purchase. You can't use it on this purchase. So you have to think of, I'm going to have to spend $100, but in the future, I'll save $25.
Right.
So, you know, those are the kind of things you got to weigh out. I weighed it out. It's like that. I go to Target almost like once a week, and I just randomly looked and I had like $150 worth of gift cards in my wallet that I forgot about. And I just was able, you know, so
yeah, this trip is paid for.
Yeah. So
think about that, because the other angle I've been thinking about with these templates, and I think it could be a GPT as well. And I've created one called Cashflow Buddy.
Yeah,
that
that's awesome.
I've kind of trained, I've given it some instructions, and I haven't really done a ton with it, but there are a lot of interesting things I think you could do with a GPT. I also still like the idea of some sort of like mobile template.
Yeah.
I built this holiday budgeting template to work really well on mobile. And that was a pretty interesting, like, creative challenge, I would say, like going back to how you create and that whole topic.
Yeah.
I never thought about creating. I always built templates on a computer. And so I built them for that sort of experience, that desktop experience, but I never even thought about creating a template on or for a mobile experience. And like, for one, have you seen it, by the way? Have you looked at, I wonder if I can share my screen. I'm going to try this. So forgive me, anyone watching, if this goes horribly.
No, I did want to say real quick. I love the like spreadsheets and the templates because I like having those things. I don't I have the EveryDollar app, but I kind of hate it because everything's just kind of automated. I literally open it the first of the week. It's like, are you ready to create your budget? And I say yes. And for the most part, everything's exactly the same as it was last month. I'd update like how much like electricity is going to be this month or whatever, just based on like guesstimate. But like, and then I'm just kind of done. Then I just kind of don't look at it until then.
But it's like a one-off. It's like these one-off sort of things, like planning for the holidays, or like when there's a family emergency. Or
it's very like tactical. Or not tactical. Like, is it the right word? Like, I like having something where I'm like manually putting something in and like writing it down.
Like you're using it to answer a question in that moment, as opposed to like, okay, this is just something I got to, these are the push-ups I got to do every month. Because, that's what you got to do to manage your finances. Let's see what happens when I share this. Oh, nice. This is cool. Okay. Let's see. Did that work? No, that doesn't look very good. Let's try this. Let's go back to this. So I've got this pulled up on my desktop right now. Let me see.
Can you make your window? Oh, it's like, yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, nice.
Dude, this is awesome.
That's actually pretty cool. Wait, how do I get this to? Oops. All right, forgive me, everyone. We're just hanging. We're just playing here. Oh, there we go. I think that went like full screen here. Let's see.
Yeah, it's full screen. Yeah.
I'm watching it back on Instagram. So like the way I built this is such that you can use it on your mobile phone, and it's very like pointed at a specific sort of scenario, right? Like I need to plan how much I'm going to spend on Christmas presents this year, or holiday presents, or whatever holiday you subscribe to. So I thought, okay, what's the first thing you do, right? Well, let's think about how much I want to spend. Okay. I might have an idea of how much I want to spend. Maybe I'm trying to figure out like what that number is, but I think most people kind of go into the holidays with an idea of how much they're going to spend, right? Or kind of or even like what they want to spend per person, right? I got 3 people I'm buying gifts for. I want to spend $500 a piece. So I don't want to spend $1,500. So then you can start to put in who it is you're buying these gifts for. And you can do this on your phone too. Like it works best on Google Sheets. I found, but let's say you want to, you could use it in Excel as well. But I think that the app experience of Google Sheets is much better. And then once you put those people in, then it's just a matter of saying, okay, well, I'm going to spend $50 on Pierce for some new glasses. I know Pierce also needs some diapers. So I'm going to put I'm going to do that. I'm going to get Trevor some new glasses as well. And then I don't know who Alex is, but I'm going to spend a good chunk of change on them for an iPad. So once you kind of start to log that information, you can always go back and change this. I've created this like stats page that then kind of shows you how much left you've got in your budget, as well as like where that money is being spent across those people. And I felt like those were probably the most, and also the countdown, right? Like how many days do I have until this holiday happens? I felt like those were the most pertinent metrics, if you will. I mean, I spent a lot of time thinking about like different metrics and played around with this and tried to do some like really like messy, complex formulas. But I really made this like very simple and
Yeah.
very intentional. And I hope that people can get value out of like how specific and niche this particular template is, as opposed to like something that you can like download from Google.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I mean, especially because you made it mobile friendly, which is crazy. Because I try to do spreadsheets and stuff on my phone too sometimes, and it's like you can kind of make it work. But take this and add it as like add it as like an app on my home screen, and it's just always there while I'm going around shopping or doing whatever, and being like, okay.
And like you can add more people to the list, right? And then because of the formulas that I've built, or like the way some of the data validation rules work, like those people get added to the log tab. So like you go in, you add a new person, great, it's right there. And I can just keep adding more people or removing people or adjusting my budget, and just have like this got really intentional tool that's built for like, that's purpose built for a specific thing, but also on a mobile experience. So I don't have to like wait until I'm back home on my computer, or, you know, like you said, you can pull this up on your Safari, like pull up the link, save that link as an app on your home screen. And then, like you said, you just go to your home screen and it just pops up in the Google Sheet.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I feel like things like that make like people are more likely to use it like when it's very like specific like that. Like again, like a budgeting app, like, you know, I don't even know. I can't remember what Intuit's budgeting. I used to have Intuit's budgeting app. I can't remember what it was. It had like a fun name, I think. But you know, like it just after a while, like it just gets very overwhelming. And I was trying to look up Intuit's budgeting app. I know it's not Intuit anymore. They've been bought out, but it was something else. It was something.
Well, I think the point you made about maybe the reason that budgeting is overwhelming for people is because of how little things change.
Yeah.
Like how little like the big variables change in your life, unless you're having a kid every 6 months, or like you lose your job constantly, or you're like in the, you know, maybe just like your financial situation is so bad that you are just constantly in this state of survival. Outside of those scenarios, your life isn't changing too often, right? That's going to result in a huge change in like your financial situation. So it does become pretty monotonous, and it may be overwhelming to think about like, oh my God, I gotta do my budget again this month. Well, I know nothing's really going to change.
Yeah.
So I'll just do this like in the moment math, like you would for Christmas. Like, okay, well, you know, I've got this much in savings. I got this much in my bank account. Like, I think I can put this much towards gifts this year. So we'll just work with that and make sure I don't spend more than I've committed to.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's exactly true. Cause like you said, like I've got the EveryDollar app, and it's like, you know, it's like at work, people will be like, oh, I'm like a bronze user. I'm like a gold. I think I'm like barely a user at all. I'm like a once a month user. Really it is. It's just like, I'm going to update it. Like I know how much money that we spend on groceries, and we're good about that. Like I usually get cash out for that. Like I know like everything is pretty much the same. I open it up and say, create my budget, and it's, you know, basically the same. I'll go in and add like freelance money as it comes in and make sure that that goes to the appropriate places, because that's the only change. But yeah, like like holiday budgeting and stuff like that. Like if I had an app that was just specifically like, you know, like that, but for freelance money, like, okay, like I just got paid, you know, I got this payment. Well, we make sure that whatever percentage of it is going to taxes is appropriate, and whatever percentage is going to like donation is appropriate, and I'm going to pay myself appropriately, and then the rest of it is going to be put in savings or whatever. Or this month I need, you know, this month we've got to pay for the hospital bills for having a baby, so like that's freelance money. Like I won't get paid. I'm just going to put all of that, you know, after I do taxes, save the bunch for taxes. The rest of it's going to go straight to pay that or whatever. Like, but like, those are like specific things that come in handy, and they're not like overwhelming. Like I don't need this like giant tool. Yeah. I don't need a giant tool that does everything and does all these things for my life right now. You know, if I had to pay somebody else, if I was paying like other freelancers to help me or whatever, like maybe, you know, but right now it's just kind of like,
well, that's where that's where I find, I don't know, this whole thing is very interesting to me, because I've only managed like cash for myself personally, which I have used the envelope system.
Yeah.
I've used the Every Dollar. Now I just use spreadsheets because that's just like my tool. So
Yeah.
I just kind of built my own thing and it works. But
yeah,
in
the older you
business-
get, spreadsheets become so like attractive, I think. Like
they're
I
just
love
so
spreadsheets.
flexible. And like that's why I wanted to build this mobile sort of experience, because like I think the Google Sheets mobile spreadsheet app is like very good. And two, if you can make it user friendly and like make the cells bigger, right? And like make it obvious, like visually, like what you're supposed to do. And also make it really poignant and specific. I think people use that as opposed to like downloading an app, and because people know what their experience with an app is going to be like, right? Like, you're going to be overwhelmed with upgrades and free trials, and you've got to put in your information and this, that, and the other. Well, like, I'll sell you a template that I built for $5 and you can use it. And if you hate it or you don't love it, I'll give you your money back. So there's like there's no harm, no foul, but also it might be something that you really get a lot of value out of. So,
dude, I made a spreadsheet for when we were like when we were buying a house. I literally made a spreadsheet of like, here's the address, here's our thoughts on it, here's the next steps for the realtor, here's the next steps for us, and like sent it to the realtor. I was like, hey, here's like 20 houses. Will you go through this tonight? And she was like, this is awesome. I wish all my clients would do this. And she was like, no to this house because whatever. No, and yes, and maybe, and then like that's how we landed on this house. It's like, okay, after like going through all that, there were 2 houses that we could go look at, and based on like both sides. So like I love spread, but like that, like you said, it's very specific. Like if there was like a Keller Williams app that did that, I'd probably hate it. I'd be like, that's just I'm not going to use that. Like, I'm already.
I think what not to like nerd out on it too much, but the fact that it's now your file, like it's it kind of goes back to the old like buying CD-ROMs at Walmart and installing the software on your computer.
Yeah.
Like it's yours. Like this is just, it's a file. It's yours. There's no subscription. Like use it. Don't use it. If you hate it, we'll give your money back. Like it's whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I think that might be more attractive to people, especially if they know the person that created it. Right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that's kind of the angle I think that may work.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree with that.
The diaper one I'll have to think about.
Yeah.
We'll think about that. Are there any other, you mentioned a couple, are there any, like, I think about weddings.
Yeah.
Right. Like saving up for your wedding, you having a kid, buying a new car, buying a house. Like what's the most important sort of metric or like aspect of that? And how do you make that into a simple of enough spreadsheet that someone can use on their phone? And I don't know if there's an answer to that, but like,
I have to think about that.
Holiday budget, it was like, I want to make sure I know who I'm buying gifts for and that I don't overspend.
Yeah.
That's it. Like track who I'm buying gifts for, make sure I don't overspend.
Yeah. I think the car one, you have to get like super specific about, because it's like, because people buy cars in such unique ways. Like people might buy them just from Facebook Marketplace, or people might buy them just from like Carvana, or people might buy them only from dealerships, or like, or people might just buy them as they're like just driving by and they see them like on the side of a lot somewhere. So I think that's like one of the things, like, how do you make a spreadsheet for somebody who's buying a car on Marketplace? Like are there differences between, I mean, there are definitely differences, but how do you make that specific enough to where it works to buy a car on Marketplace versus buying a car from like Carvana or whatever?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so many, and like also think like sometimes the reason these apps and these calculators become so complex is because like the number of variables can be significant.
Yeah.
Especially buying a car, like there's a lot of fees, there's the interest, there's the down payment.
Yeah. That's why I think you like make it where it's like just one lane.
Right.
Like,
it has to be like a very specific scenario that you need help calculating this thing for. That's why I like the holiday one, because it's just like gifts, budget. That's it. Like, who am I buying it? How much is it? And did I overspend or underspend?
Yeah.
There's not really much more to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. And that's same with like buying a car. Like you got a I think you have to make a different template for each scenario based on. I mean, if you're buying a new car, I feel like there's not a lot to consider. Like if you're buying a new car, like maybe you look at a few lots and get them to compete with each other. But other than that, like when you're looking at a used car,
maybe people would want to know like how much car can I afford.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, like, but that may be a number you already know. Like, like, okay, I can only I got $600 left a month. I want to go, max out on whatever I can get. And you just go to the dealer and say, hey, I've got $600 and no money down. Like, what's the best you can do?
Yeah.
But there might be like a comparison, like a really easy way to do like a comparison of, what's the cost of, like if I'm able to do a down payment versus not able to do a down payment, and over time, like which one's going to be more expensive.
I think you should buy this. I think you should get this book because and just not rip it off, but get ideas from it, because there was, as you were talking, I was looking at there was already one that was like, oh yeah, so how to save thousands on big ticket items, and it's like a fresh look at buying a car. It was like that, and then it goes into don't buy a horrible car, and then it's like do's and don'ts for buying a car, and it's like, I don't know, stretch your budget for a car, set a realistic budget. So like I feel like there's a lot of good stuff in there that you could take and like probably make templates off of some kind, like I don't know. I think this is a super good book for people who are like, who want to know a little bit more than, again, like once you get to a certain point of like total money makeover, and it's like, I'm paying off my, or I'm maxing out what my employer matches. So what do I do with the other? I mean, most people match 5%. So what do I do with the other 5%? Where should that go? I feel like this is like that. This is helping me a lot, like in terms of,
I mean, I've actually made a note about that for this conversation, which was what happens when you reach step 7, build wealth and give of the Dave Ramsey baby steps. Like that was literally the question. Or like, okay, a lot of people get past the point where they've paid off all their debt. They got their 6 months of emergency fund. They maxed out their 401k. They got their 529. But hey, I still got some money left over. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? And that's a really interesting conversation, because with just the way things are right now in the economy, and with inflation, and with things being so expensive, it makes me wonder, like, what if you only had like $200 extra a month? Like, is it really worth putting $200 a month away in a brokerage account that may or may not be worth $75,000 in 15 years? But like, what is $75,000 going to buy you in 15 years with the way inflation is going and like the cost of things? And I don't know. I find that to be pretty interesting, just because, maybe you spend that $200 on ads. Instead, like what you were saying earlier, maybe, and even if your kids paid for, like you covered all your expenses, you still got some money left. Like, how do you invest that back into yourself? As opposed to like, or it doesn't even make sense to invest that money back into yourself, or should you just tack it onto your 401k or put it in a brokerage account?
I think that's a good, which is why I really like Webull, just because you can liquefy it. I mean, most of the time you can liquefy it pretty quickly if you need to. So that's why I kind of like I've got my 401k, and I've got a brokerage account, but then I've got a pretty good amount in Webull that is just like, I can, I feel like I can, it's growing and it's compounding, but I can also, like, if something bad happens, I can go get it out. I don't have to just pay capital gains tax, but like, so I like having that as like the backup versus it just sitting in my savings account. I mean, I pull it, I guess,
not earning anything.
Yeah. Or earning, maybe 1%, I mean, that's what I did that's how I paid my taxes last year. I was like, I'll just pull out how much I need to pay taxes, pay capital gain taxes, which is, very low. And then like pay my taxes, and it didn't hurt. Like it didn't feel like I lost anything, because that money is just sort of like, I didn't have to pull out of my retirement. And I didn't really see my savings go anywhere. Like there's a weird like mental thing about where you see money disappearing from, and like half of my savings being gone would feel weird, but half of my like Webull account being gone isn't like, it doesn't hurt as bad, because I'm like, that's there for these kind of things. It's like the bonus emergency fund that I don't feel bad about, I guess.
It's that $25 Target gift card.
Yeah, exactly. It's like looking at your wallet and realizing, oh, dude, I've got a gift card here.
It's your credit card points.
Yeah.
This looks like Jordan. Yeah, any book rec or car buying tips? Buying a new one, want to pay cash? It's a good question.
I feel like the biggest tip with that is like, find the car you want at multiple dealerships and send each salesperson the deal you're getting from the other dealership and make them fight over it.
Because in that case, if you're not going to buy one off like Facebook Marketplace or like Carvana or something like that, you are kind of playing the dealership a little bit. Like there's a person on the other side of that sale that's trying to make a commission, and like they've got to, and at the end of the day, like it rolls up to the person that owns the dealership that really gets to decide whether or not it's worth it for them to sell that car. I'd say go at the end of the month, because if they're trying to get quota, they're going to cut deals at the end of the month or the end of the quarter, or even better yet, the end of the year. My buddy Cayman works for Ford, not as like at a dealership, but like for Ford corporate. And he would actually be someone we could try to get on here to talk about car buying and like the finances and stuff related to car buying, because he follows that industry really closely, and kind of has a sense of like what's going on with the market and like where people are stretched and what makes or models kind of make sense based on your situation. But also like a lot of the financing options that dealerships make and car manufacturers make can be pretty attractive depending on like what's going on with them, from a corporate perspective. They're, like I said, like they're trying to hit quota, like they're trying to hit their sales numbers, and like even if they got to lose money on a car, if they need to move that inventory, they'll sell it at a good price.
Yeah.
But you can't really change there's only so low that you can go with some of those things. Like if you want a new car that's got 30,000 miles on it, unless you're going to buy like some weird off-brand thing, like, there's the floor there.
Yeah.
Dude, we've been going for an hour and a half.
I never thought I'd enjoy talking about finance so long for so late.
I know. I'm about cooked. I think I don't have much more in me.
Yeah.
I've reached.
This has been awesome. I appreciate you for letting me join you for this first. I know I'm not a cash flow expert to come on here, but it was a lot of fun. I love the idea of bringing people on, and I think that's super cool that we got somebody to come on. So I think, I would rate it a huge success.
I agree. It worked. We are live there. I think we peaked at probably like 8 or 9 people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
which is cool. Like, it's cool that there are people that even hung on for a few minutes or even a minute. And Pierce obviously was here for a while.
Yeah. And for this to have just like been born like yesterday or
2
Monday.
days ago. Yeah. There was no hardly any promotion at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't know if I can commit to doing it like every week, but I did really enjoy it. And I think that this will happen again.
Yeah. I'll help you figure out a time we can do it again. I feel like it was my idea, so now I gotta make sure you.
Well, I think I don't know. Like the way I'm thinking about it is like even if you can't join, for me, like what works is having someone else that I like talking to, that I could sit down and talk to for an hour and a half. That we just want to come on and hang out. And if we shoot the shit and nothing happens, great. If we get into some really cool topics, that's cool too. Somebody wants to join, that's cool too. But like you as a co-host, is what makes this a co-host, or like, I don't know, maybe you're a guest, I don't know, but just having that other person
Yeah.
that it's going to like hang on with you for however long it goes.
If I'm gonna be a co-host, we need like funny nicknames, It's like it's like the Goober and Boner show or whatever it's called. I don't
know. I'll think about that.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody who's listening or watching can send us some suggestions.
No, this is awesome. No, I'm super happy to be here, and obviously, I don't have to be here every time, but I'll be here anytime you need me. Other than that, we can definitely work on. I think this is a good topic. Like, I think not the goal, but the idea is like to find people that, like I said, for me on my show, it's like finding people who are more talented and interesting. So I think like for you, like find people that have something going on, like not a financial like strain, but a financial decision in their life. I think comes on and might bring out something kind of like pretty interesting. Like maybe you didn't, I don't know if you like obviously didn't expect Pierce, but if you would have been like, dude, Pierce is having a kid, do you want to come on and talk about what it's like getting ready for have a kid? And, maybe next time I talk, we'd just be like, how are we budgeting groceries? Like grocery prices are going up. Like, what are you like currently doing that's like keeping things down? Like,
yeah, I think exactly. Like there are lots of people that are going through like big life events. How are they thinking about like what they're going to do with their finances? What tools do they use? What resources have been helpful for them? I think your point earlier about finding people that are in the finance sort of space, like either they're creating content around finances or like, I don't know, they're just in that world. Maybe they're a small business owner that's starting a business, or I don't know, pivoting. I don't know. All of those sort of like pivotal moments in someone's life when like all the assumptions change or a big assumption changes. That's whenever this topic becomes really interesting, that like the topic of cash flow specifically. And like when I growing up or like kind of coming through my career early on, like I was working with businesses that were always dealing with like a cash flow crisis. Like every day we were like, how are we going to get through this? Most people don't experience that. But that was like how I cut my teeth on this world. And now I'm trying to figure out like, okay, well, what are the situations where people find themselves in where that's actually what they're experiencing for that moment. Financial planning is as personal as absolutely. Yeah. Jordan made a good comment. Like it's such a vulnerable topic for people. And which is why like it's hard to talk about. But I think if we can figure out how to talk about it without being like, this is how much money's in my bank account, or this is like how much debt I'm in, or like what I'm saving. I think if we can figure out a way to talk about those things and just make it more approachable, I don't know, maybe some people get some help and some value out of that.
Yeah, I think, I think just like you said, talking to people talking about finance, but also finding people like a regular person like me I'm not on here talking about finance, but like, it's not something I typically talk about, but just saying like, what have you like, maybe like finding out that I had a 529 was something I immediately started doing might've been interesting. People maybe didn't expect that, or maybe you didn't expect that or whatever. Like, I didn't know that was like how he was thinking about things, like that's I think it's kind of interesting to hear what normal people who are not in the finance world are doing and thinking about, and how they're going about managing money.
Yeah. It's very eye-opening. It's actually very eye-opening. Which is the funnest part. It's just like how are people thinking about this stuff?
Like I didn't have like all my cash hid under my pillow or whatever.
Some people do. Some people keep it in a jar buried in the yard.
I got some family like that. I have cash on hand, like but it's like just in case I need it. I don't have all my life savings in a jar buried.
Some people still don't trust banks.
I mean, I don't know how those are people that you're like, those people that get upset when they see a place that's like cash, it's like card only.
Oh yeah, no cash. Yeah, card only, digital only. I know.
Yeah,
that's why it is.
It's more hygienic. More hygienic that way.
That cash is dirty.
Yeah,
that is a fact. That is a fact.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got some PG-13 commentary on that, but I'll say that. I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Yeah, wait. Fill out the audience. See,
that's that
It's an after hours show.
that's after hours, like Patreon. You got to
Yeah.
pay your way into that live show. Our shirts come off in that one.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna end it there. That's
All
it.
right. All right.
Thank you, bro. I'll talk to you
you.
soon.
All right. Thank you.
I got let's end this on Instagram. To download your video, view your archive on the Instagram. Okay. All right. I'm out of here. See you, man.